The Absolute Peach.
Alright.
It's another show from nobody's favourite podcast. Except for my mum. No, wait, my mum doesn't listen, actually. That's always upset me. It's always upset me. Gav's falling asleep, but the sheer length of that intro.
It's so long. That is so long.
Sorry, Gav, about the professionally produced intro that is a few bars too long for you.
Don't get me wrong. I
Comes
like
on
it.
here, third show in,
Fourth.
rocks up late, standard.
Sorry
Now he's
about
having a go at the intro. See, now he's gone all coy. You're supposed to push back. Right, Gav? Stop being Mr. Nice, agreeable guy. Stand up for yourself.
It just was long. I feel like I aged a few years in the middle of that intro.
You look like you did.
I've aged a lot since we last spoke, actually.
Yeah.
A few more grey hairs. It's funny you're saying about your mum not listening to the show. My brother's started listening to the show. I feel a little bit conscious about what I'm going to say now.
Really?
I think, will I offend my brother? Well, actually, that's probably a good thing.
Does he have unicorn armpit hair? Because if he does, he would be offended by the last programme.
He will be. He will. He is super morbidly obese with unicorn hair, armpit hair.
We don't set out to upset people, Gav.
We don't.
We
We're nice
just poke
people.
fun at the funny stuff and things in the world, like words.
Which there is a lot of.
So speaking of stuff, here's a video, but I'm not going to play that because some videos are just terrible and don't go over well over audio. Here's a thing.
I love things.
A little segment I like to call Nana News Watch.
You got 20p, mate?
Woman reveals her boyfriend is plain she met at airport 5 years ago. Headline could have been made punchier.
Yeah, it's a pretty awful headline.
Give it a quick cursory glance. I know everyone really enjoys it when I just break down wording and sentences. I would have gone with woman reveals her boyfriend is a plane.
Yeah.
Leave it there, to be honest.
That's pretty punchy.
Where she met the airport, where she met the plane is kind of immaterial. I could probably have predicted that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michelle Kobke from Berlin, Germany, calls her partner, a 737-800 Boeing, Schatz, and
Be
says,
careful when you say that one.
yeah, and says she was first attracted to his wings, winglets, and thrusters, and wants to get married one day.
Wow. That's where I was going wrong in my teenage years. I didn't have any wings.
Basically, yeah.
Needed more thrust.
So you're limiting your options, really, if you're just
Indeed.
going after the old humans. A woman has revealed her boyfriend is a plane. Yeah, you said that already. Yep, and the next line as well. Brilliant.
Just repeat
At least
every
I-
line twice.
At least I've read this article. The 29-year-old claims to sleep with her darling every night, either with real components or a 1.6 metre model.
Wow. That's quite insulting to the plane, though. It's basically two timing. You can't just get a model. That's getting an upgraded model. If I said to my wife, do you know what? Don't fancy cuddling you in bed tonight. I've got this blow-up doll. Do you mind if I just take this?
But if you were, 300 feet long and weighed like, I don't know, 75 tons, maybe having a small model of you maybe
True.
more practical. Let's face it, she's not allowed near the airport anymore.
I'm not surprised. You don't
understand. I'm married. I'm married to that plane.
To that inanimate object.
Please come with me, madam.
Wow. This is mental. You hear a lot about this, don't you? People, there's a guy, a well-known guy. He's not a well-known guy. He's not an A-list celebrity, let's put it that way.
Right.
And he married a car. He married a car and actually has relations with the car.
No, he doesn't.
Wow. He thinks he does. There he is.
Okay, man who has had sex with 999 cars will marry a Volkswagen Beetle.
Brilliant. I mean, do you think this is real? Or do you think these people are actually just thinking, how do I get in the news? I know, I'll tell people I've, had sexual intercourse with 999 cars, which is a bit of a weird. Doesn't seem like a random number, does it?
No, I mean it's been around. It's very headline grabby.
Yeah.
To be honest, what you would probably expect me to say is yes, it's definitely just attention seeking. But actually, I'm inclined to believe these days that actually
it's true.
There may very well be people who genuinely are just
mental,
attracted to cars and planes.
What has happened in their life to make them think, yeah, I just want to marry a plane?
But is that a bad thing?
What are they getting back from it? I don't understand. In a relationship, there's give and take. You know, you get satisfaction from spending time with somebody, from sharing a joke, going into I was going to say going to new destinations, but she's got no problem there, to be fair with enough, a plane. Yeah. What do they get from it? I don't understand.
Well,
I hope you'll enlighten me.
She said, I'm not do no such thing. She says her family have reacted quite pleasantly in writing. She's been shunned. Mrs. Kopke, I apologise if anyone listening, his name is Kopke, and I'm getting that wrong, says she fell in love with the plane the first time she met him. Did not meet him. At Berlin Tegel Airport. And after nearly 5 years together, not together, they plan to get married or not be married. I'm inserting the parentheses bits.
I like it.
The last time I was in a relationship with a man was in 2011, but there was no love there, she explained. Maybe something bad happened though, like you say. Maybe something bad happened. This is the most beautiful relationship you can imagine. So there's a photo of her laying on the floor, no trousers on. I don't know why you couldn't have just sent a photo with you with trousers on, but okay, sure. Maybe I guess it's trying to show it's a very intimate picture. Yeah, she's in a bedroom, laying on the floor with a what was that, about 6 foot model?
Massive plane. How does she fit that in the house?
Just like cradling the plane, really.
That's odd, isn't it? That's really odd.
Do you think she has other like plane paraphernalia around, or is it just
the massive?
Or would that
model?
Be wrong?
I used to. My nan used to have a lodger, terrible guy, and he used to have, I think, about 200 or so model planes in his bedroom. 200 odd model planes in his bedroom.
Wow!
And the space that wasn't taken up, which was quite a lot of space taken up, was taken up with books about planes. It's fair to say he liked planes.
He enjoyed the odd plane.
Yeah. Maybe he's her kindred spirit. I think actually there's somebody out there for everyone. She just needs to find the right guy who's as passionate, not in that way, about planes as she is.
Yeah. Well, my granddad used to have a load of old vintage toy cars.
Ah, yeah.
And my job every time I went round there was to go up and just dust them. and it's one of those amazing things, like when you're a kid, like kids, you can persuade a kid that doing something which is essentially a chore is like a massive privilege if you do it right. Yeah. And I was sold on that for years. That was like my own job. Like no one else is allowed to dust those cars.
I bet you went and told your friends about it, didn't you? Oh, I get to dust my granddad's cars.
It's like, it's fantastic. He just comes around here, just does nothing but dust cars, model cars the entire time. She continued, my first flight was at the end of November 2013, and I became so in love with aeroplanes. I got so excited every time I looked at aeroplane pictures and videos. Schatz is so nice, and I love his aerodynamics and his appearance, especially his wings and his support surface. I love it.
So I assumed she was working there, but she's not doing work there, does she? So how often does she see him? She's like got to break into the airport to see the specific, because it's one specific plane, right? Or is it a model of a plane? Like
no, it's one plane. It's an actual plane. Yeah.
How on earth does she keep this relationship going? It's like a long distance relationship.
Yeah, there's just lots of pictures of her just like kissing. Like what I want to know is how she'd been allowed to go right up so close to planes, just like caressing the actual plane on the runway.
That's mad, isn't it? That is mad. I wonder how much she spent on flights to places just to be close to this plane.
And bits of wings as well in her house. Objectophilia, there you go. Objectophilia is a form of sexuality focused on particular inanimate objects. Wow. People with this preference may have strong feelings of attraction, love and commitment to certain items or structures of their fixation. It's a thing, Gav.
It's a thing. It shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing.
You need to get up to date. I've been. I don't tend to think of myself as someone who gets road rage, but I think, would it be fair to say most people become more emotionally charged when they're behind the wheel than otherwise? Even the most placid people.
Yeah, I was thinking this on the drive over today. Actually, I was thinking. So there's a courtesy, right? So I got stuck in a big traffic jam on the way here.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. And there's a courtesy when you're in a traffic jam, a queue of some sort, and there's cars entering or exiting different junctions or roads. There is a courtesy that says one in and go, right? Let one in and you go. The next person, let one in, go. This person, right? I was trying to come in, and not just one person just went, I'm not letting you in, mate. I'm just going to go. Two, no, just two. Yeah. 3 people went past and just went, nah. I used to get road rage a bit. I hate traffic. Traffic's like one of my worst bugbears. Another weird saying. And
what is a bugbear?
I don't know what a bugbear is. I've just got visions of the body of a beetle, the head of a bear.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. So I agree. I think you do get behind the wheel more enraged about things. You more feel like people are taking the mick. You know, they're not doing what you feel is fair.
People seem to... I think what it is that you can be an idiot. Walking around the street, you can be a bit of an idiot, and you don't really endanger anybody, or you don't really inconvenience people, right? Yeah. You could just be kind of swaying around on the pavement, and people might kind of give you an odd look. Yeah. Ultimately, no one's going to be that annoyed. If anything, they're going to be amused. But as soon as you're in a car, suddenly is obviously the stakes are higher.
Yeah.
But also, everyone's massively in a rush because guess what? Nobody plans to get any. People do plan, but I mean, most people seem to just have a sense of urgency, right? We all just leave ourselves, leave everything too late.
Yeah, you think I've got to be there by this time. It takes 10 minutes. I will leave exactly 11 minutes before I need to go.
Right.
So you don't leave yourself enough time for contingency. Yeah,
exactly. So everything's just kind of ramped up. And the other thing is that people do stuff. You know, you might do something stupid, and then it's always somebody else's fault.
Right.
You know, I was I don't know what I was doing. I must have been on my way to work the other day, and I was trying to turn. No, I was coming back from work, and I was turning into the supermarket, and I was trying to turn right, and this car was just straddling the 2 lanes, like the in and the out, just like sat there waiting to turn out. So I'm thinking, what's happening here? And I'm supposed to be able to turn in, like I was supposed to have right of way. So I'm supposed to be able to get out of turn in past her. There was just enough space to do it, so I did. She gave me the most absolutely filthiest look. And I was thinking, you're not even in a thing. Like where you are
both lanes.
is not a thing.
No.
Like I don't know where you think you are, but you're not anywhere. Yeah. You're basically nowhere at this point.
Yeah.
And another thing that people do is that you're driving down the main road.
Yeah.
And you've got these side roads coming on, and people just kind of just go out. So like if you're not slowing down to let them out, they're just I'm just going to go out then. I'm just going to go out like a third of the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go like a third of my car out, and I'm just going to bank on whoever's on the main road just like stopping.
Emergency braking.
And most of the time what happens, a lot of time what happens is people will just like slightly if the oncoming lane is free, you'll just kind of swerve around.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do otherwise? Slam your brakes on. And then of course that person who's like stuck there like nose at like front wheels out, again, they're looking like massively pissed off.
Yeah.
Like,
people get a massive they get a sense of injustice, don't they? My sister, if she ever listens, sorry, but she is an awful driver. Absolutely awful. And she used to do this thing where she would get really annoyed because somebody was tailgating her, driving really close. She'd go, and she would be ranting about, she was a really angry driver. She'd be ranting about, she'd go, they're right up behind me. You know, if I have to brake, they're going to go into the back of me. And at the exact same time, she's basically inside the car in front, and she's there ranting and raving, and then they'll turn off and I go, all right, you're going to pull back from this car in front now because I feel like I'm touching their number plate. She's like, well, I'm not that close. What do you mean? They're really close to me, but I'm not that close to them. And people have a false sense of, everyone thinks they're a really good driver. No, I am a really good driver, obviously. Objectively. But everyone has this feeling that I'm a great driver, therefore I can do what I want, and if anybody else does something wrong, it's their fault.
I reckon there needs to be some kind of a system like whereby you can rate everyone. So now that we're all like, you get things like these. Have you heard of this app called Waze?
Waze, yeah. It's owned by Google, I think.
It's actually owned by Google now.
So,
it uses like the Google's network, but it's amazing. It's got so much like information about what's going on the road, traffic and stuff like that, even more than Google Maps has. Yeah. And it's because everything's interconnected and everyone's just on Google, right? So now that we as drivers, we're all basically essentially driving around in computers, albeit it's a computer that's on the dashboard. Yeah. It's only a matter of time before the cars are just completely connected anyway. Yeah. So like you're, I don't know, this is a bit geeky, but you're in a video, say you're playing like an online game.
Yeah.
If you just act up there, people just can start a vote and just go, I vote vote you to kick
Vote 'em
you
off.
from the channel,
Yeah.
right? And if enough people vote, guess what? You're out of there.
Yeah.
So why don't we have something like that? So if you're driving like just a jerk,
Yeah.
people can just, every time they encounter someone just driving like an idiot, you can just hit a button on you, and it's on your steering wheel or something. You know, you've just got some easy like one-touch control panel.
Yeah.
It's just like a display with like the 3 cars that are closest to you,
Yeah.
right? A pictorial
Little
pictorial
smile,
representation.
little angry face.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
neutral face.
Like, okay, person, or just like absolute wazzock. You know?
Wazzock.
Wazzock. And you just go through your day like this, and you can't, on your own, you can't get someone in trouble.
Yeah.
But if this one person's just like acting like a complete tit
Yeah.
for like days, they're going to rack up enough like wazzock points. And then you're eventually going to start then eventually, basically, like, I've written this down actually. So the rules are, everyone gets like a part. So like if you do something really dumb,
Yeah.
on
Most
the road,
days.
like,
All right. Yeah.
really dumb, but you show some level of remorse, right? So you apologize. You do that thing where you wave or whatever. You don't do the normal thing that people do, which is when you do the stupid thing, you like glare at everyone else
Yes,
as
yeah.
if like completely incredulous. Like
Yeah.
you could have been at fault. If you show real remorse, then somehow there's some facial detection thing that it checks.
Facial
to see,
detection,
oh yeah,
right, yeah.
they clearly are actually sorry about it.
Yeah.
You get a pass, but you only get a pass on your first one, your first strike.
It's getting
okay?
complicated.
So you get wazzock 1. Wazzock, if you get like five frowny faces equals 1 wazzock. If you get a wazzock on the way to work,
Yeah.
but if you showed remorse
Yeah.
on like, I don't know, 3 out of 5,
Yeah.
then
You're clear.
that wazzock one gets cleared. But after that, that's it. That's your
Yeah.
warning.
All
You
right.
rack up 3 wazzocks, and then you have to go around with a badge, because you know, like when you're a new driver and you have to wear that. Is it an L?
The L plate.
No,
yeah.
or a P.
No, no. L plate's when you're learning. It's a green P when you've just passed.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So L plate is like you're learning, which means you're hyper aware, and you might actually be okay because you're being extra careful. P is like someone's passed you. Massively beware of this
Yes.
person because
Yeah.
they think they're a competent driver.
Avoid.
now.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but it's something else, like something like it just says this guy is a wazzock, or
Yeah.
like, this driver is a wazzock, and you have to drive around with that for a week. It's legally mandatory. You have to drive around with it on your bonnet or on your bumper
Brilliant.
for a whole week,
That'd be amazing.
and as long as you get no more wazzock points,
Yeah.
then it's cleared and you can go back to just not having it again.
Yeah. I like the idea. Where do you stop with that though? Because actually, this idea of rating people, I quite like that. So you could just don't restrict it to just driving, just generally in life. You know, somebody walks in front of you in a queue. You know, queue jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 wazzock for
Wazzock,
that.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Love that word.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in so long.
Actually, that
It's
reminds
tickled
me
a lot.
I think that was a Black Mirror, something similar to that.
Oh,
You had to. People could mark you down,
Yes.
and if you've got marked down enough, you almost go down in like a social standing, and you can't access
that was a brilliant
airports
episode.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Actually,
you-
totally forgot about that.
That was a brilliant episode. Had the lady from Jurassic World in. Bryce Dallas.
Which one was he? Was she? The
Well, just the woman.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
She was the T-Rex.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
is
is
she
that
out
the
of Desperate Housewives?
Ron Howard's daughter.
No, really
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
good story.
Full of knowledge. Anyway, so yes, you're right. That did have something similar to that, where you could vote people up and down, and if they were voted down enough, they couldn't get through the airport. They couldn't get there to pay more for their coffee and things like that. But so, you mentioned with driving that you put the hand up, a little gesture to say,
yeah,
sorry. Or what I've always found weird about driving is particularly
Why you're allowed to do it?
particularly at night, is that quite often the symbol that we use for letting somebody know thank you or come on through
Yeah.
is ultimately blind them for a few seconds, stick your full beam on. And I've always, because quite often I'll be driving across like a forest area near where I live,
Yeah.
and there's lots of deer, horses and stuff all roaming around. And so being able to see for like 100% of the trip is quite vital.
Yeah.
So when you sort of let somebody go and they blind you momentarily, especially at night, you're left for a few, like maybe only a few milliseconds or a second, with no vision. And so you're suddenly, oh,
Really?
Am I gonna die?
Do you find it that bad?
Yes, yeah. I used to have quite a low car.
Because it's pitch black where you live.
Yeah, it's completely pitch black.
Like when you have a low car, that sucks. Like when you get
Yeah.
a Range Rover coming up behind you.
Yes,
And it's
this
just
is it.
directly into your eyeballs.
Exactly.
But they're supposed to be dipped, but maybe they're just not dipped enough.
But why don't we have a system a bit like the not at all like the
The
WASIC.
WASIC system.
Not
That's
the
a trademark.
You
as
should
well,
trademark that.
Patent pending.
Not like the WASIC system, but we should be able to. I've always thought this: if somebody's annoying you and they get tailgating you or something like that, put up some writing, like key in something quickly or say something. Nowadays voice recognition. Say something into the dashboard, and it throws up an image or a bit of words or something.
A bit of words.
I'm good at talking the English language.
Go on.
To just say like back off or something, like so you can actually communicate to other drivers.
Yeah, that's not going to incite rage in any way. And that's completely like fail proof.
Yeah, exactly. So you could just type anything in there, or maybe
literally anything you like.
Maybe maybe have some defaults.
Just emojis.
Just emojis. Yeah, like the middle finger emoji.
Yeah, perfect.
I think that would be good. I think it'd be nice, and it'd be a good way of people understand. Okay, I had a lot of middle finger emojis at me today. Maybe I should. Look at what I'm doing when I'm driving and not be such a wazzock.
I think a lot of the problem with that, Gavin, I think one thing maybe you haven't thought through is it probably would involve a loss of quite a few people ending up being killed by other road drivers.
Yeah. Where's the downside?
Whereas the WASIC system, you don't know who's voted you.
That's true, actually. Anonymous voting. That's true.
So get on board the
WASIC train.
The WAS chat. This is a nice little nugget I found the other day. That's what she said. What? This is so short it doesn't even warrant a Ninny Newswatch jingle really, but I'll do it anyway. Ninny Newswatch.
You got 20p, mate?
What I like about this, Gav, is it's a Newswatch. It's only one paragraph long, and it goes like this: Man questioned over dead raccoon in McDonald's. Right.
All right.
A McDonald's restaurant in San Francisco was forced to close for 3 days after an unknown man brought the bleeding corpse of a dead raccoon, corpse watch, into the eatery and placed it on a table.
Whoa.
Workers called police, who interviewed the man over the incident. This last line is my favourite part. Okay,
go for it.
Bleeding dead raccoon.
Yeah.
Brought into McDonald's, put it on the table. The man. This is fantastic. This could not have been written any better. Just let that sink in. What this? Imagine the scene. You're in a McDonald's, like getting some lovely lunch. Sat down, having your burger, your fries, your milkshake, whatever. Just chilling out, right? Yes, there's lots of annoying people around. Yes, there's lots of children around. Fine. Guess what? You've paid £5. Calm down and eat your food. Man walks in. Not just an animal. First of all, any animal. Living animal. Any animal. Don't take it to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Already everyone's like, hang on a second. Is this normal? Excuse me, are dogs allowed in here? No, obviously not. It's a McDonald's. Nothing's allowed in here. You're barely allowed in here.
Is it an emotional comfort animal? Would that make it different?
That's a reference to one of the earlier shows this year. I think it was called an emotional support animal, Gav, if you don't mind being so insensitive there. Man walks in. Just an animal, just a raccoon, just a wild animal, not even a pet. And it's dead, and it's bleeding.
It's bleeding as well.
Right. Police come in, interview the man, but the man did not meet the criteria to be detained on mental health grounds. I don't know what part of you walked into a McDonald's with a bleeding raccoon doesn't qualify you to be detained on mental health grounds.
There's some strict rules that they've got in America for mental health issues.
And he was released at the scene. Nothing was said about what happened to the raccoon, though. Did he take the raccoon with him?
It's a mystery. It's an absolute mystery.
That's the sort of detail I'm looking for.
It's not top journalism, is it?
Really? That's Newswatch. Gav, I was talking about the the smart cars and things like that. Yeah, which we weren't. Let's say we were.
I did mention
computers in cars and stuff like that. Are you familiar with? And I know you are because everyone is.
And I'm down and hip with the kids, obviously.
The Amazon Alexa. and all of that. Not. What do you know about that? What do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't have one of these things myself. So they are a device that you put in your home that you essentially just use voice commands for it to do, and you connect it up to all your other network of stuff. So connect it up to your phone, your TV, your wife, whatever, and you just say, Alexa, play this song, and you connect it up to your Spotify and it will play that song for you. Or Alexa, what is the weather today? And it will tell you what the weather is, all that sort of jazz.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a funky, it's basically a computer that you talk to and will do stuff.
But you haven't got one.
No,
but you're not really a tech guy, are you?
I'm a bit old-fashioned. I'm quite old school.
Because you barely have a smartphone, do you?
Well, rude. I do still have an iPod that I get ridiculed for every time I get it out of work, which is most days.
Don't get out of work, first of all. What is it? Is it an iPod video at least? Or is it one of those LCD display?
It's an iPod Touch. So right. Yeah.
iPod with the video. One with the circle wheel?
No, God, no. iPod Touch. It's completely touchscreen.
So it's a touch?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fairly recent then.
Well, no, I've had it for about 8 or 9 years.
I used to have an iPod video and I thought I was all
that was a thing.
Those were epic, man. That was back in the day where, adults could be trusted to use, because the thing about the iPod video is it had massive capacity for its time. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was like
1 meg.
Huge. But back then you were allowed to use it as a hard drive. So you could just chuck loads of stuff on it, as well as all the stuff you're going to watch on it, just use it as portable storage. These days you can't do anything like that. They just lock it down.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was my favourite thing.
Yeah. iPods are great. And the thing I find, we're going off on a bit of a tangent here, but people ridicule me, right? And they go, "Oh, just get Spotify, put it on your phone, get Google Music, iTunes, whatever, Apple Music." And I get quite frustrated because I think they don't understand it. First of all, they're going, "Well, how do you get music?" "Oh, well, I buy it and I put it onto my desktop PC at home with iTunes, and then I transfer it to my iPod." My desktop computer is still on XP, by the way, so I am pretty down with the kids. And they were like, "Well, what? That's a lot of effort. Just pay £5 a month, whatever's for Spotify, and you've got all music at your fingertips." I'm like, but that's not true. That is simply not true. So I'm a bit paranoid.
Why is it not true? What do you mean?
Right, okay. Jay-Z, he's not on Spotify.
Right.
I mean, that is one artist, to be fair. But
you have to go on Tidal for that.
I don't even know what that is.
That's Jay-Z's thing. Platform.
Right. Oh, right, okay. Got his own platform.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy. So that's one point, right? Sentimental, I think, is because I've always had it. I like having my music with me. I don't need to worry about downloading it before, because with those services, unless you're somewhere where it's got Wi-Fi, which I know is most places nowadays, but if you're traveling, long car trip, you've got to think beforehand, right, what will I want to listen to on that car trip before, and I've got to download it or use, obviously, gigs of data.
Well, you have to do that anyway.
No, because I've got everything on the iPod, all my music.
Then just download everything.
Yeah, good point. But there's too much music out there.
Do you listen to your whole library every time you take it, or do you listen across your whole library, or do you tend to go, listen to a few albums at a time and you just rinse them and then you move on, or do you just have one massive shuffle of tens of thousands? I have various playlists based on genre. And I'm a bit OCD with things, and I sometimes like to go, I'm going to listen to this whole playlist, which could be, the one I'm listening to at the moment is about 800 songs, all chill out music. And so I go from A to Z through the whole playlist. Right.
And I think that's another thing, right? So I listen to the same music.
Hold on, you go through it in a line.
Yeah.
So every time you start the playlist, you start from the beginning?
Not always. No, not always. I just sometimes do this.
Yeah.
But I do.
Do you ever get past the 20th song or something?
Yeah. But no, because then I just listen to it over time. So I've been listening to this playlist now for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
And people don't listen to the same music enough, because I have this real problem with music films that so much is coming out, you can't keep up. So many
films. What do you mean?
Sorry, musical and films. Yeah. So films, there's too many things coming out constantly.
Yeah.
There's no way of keeping, watching it all. There's no way of keeping up to date with it. Whereas, when we were younger, and I don't know if it's just how it felt at the time, but everybody listened to similar music. Oh, we've all got the latest Queen album. All right, well, not that young, but
now 25. Or
now 25. Yeah, they're on now 100 now.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
You don't sound old at all, Gav.
No, I know. When I used to have my LPs, and And yeah, so people, I think now, people go, I listen to Spotify and it recommends me new music. And I'm thinking about, are you ever actually just waiting, re-listening to the same album like 7 or 8 times in a row? Sometimes I'll do that. I'll listen to the same album many times in a row in the car, to and from work for a week, the same album. And I don't get the feeling that people do that now, because they're like, oh, I'm being recommended a new thing. I'm being recommended a new thing. And they're not taking the time to appreciate the music that's released.
Maybe, but I'm a bit different to that. I really find it hard to like I find it hard to find new artists that I like. But then I'll find one. I'm sorry, are you scrolling around on your phone, Gav? I'm sorry, have you got some text coming in?
No, I'm listening. Go on.
You're not listening. You're looking down. You literally, you look down. His phone went. Bzz, looks down. Starts swiping. New playlist available now. Trance, chill out. Special for Gav. Download edition.
I don't have my iPod.
Explain yourself, Gav. Who exactly do you think you are? He's got like an essay on this. I can't read it from here, but it's either the longest text ever. Come on, who's it from?
It's not a text. It's not a text.
What is it?
It's just some notes.
Oh, for the show?
No, just some notes. General notes.
Who has general notes to themselves popping up at 8:45 in the evening, Gav?
I'm going to just turn that off.
What are you doing?
Just don't worry about it in a way.
Just scroll through notes.
Where were we? I feel like we've lost our way.
So what I would love, because you get these services, they're always recommending you. Well, you don't. You probably don't know.
I don't.
But if you're on something like Spotify, it says your weekly picks for you or whatever. And it will recommend artists based on the genres that you listen to.
Yeah.
I find it really hard to. I find most of the time they don't really resonate with me.
All right.
But I wonder if it's because, you know how sometimes music takes a long time to grow on you, right?
Yep.
And to kind of go back to what you were saying earlier, when there was a perceived scarcity, let's say, or maybe you just didn't have much money, you buy something and you're just going to make it count, like whatever it is. Like you buy a comic book and you just read it to death, even if it isn't that good, because it's your one thing you got with the money. Like you're a kid, it's the one thing you could afford with your pocket money, so you rinse it. These days, we've just got all of it. Yeah. So it's like, oh, here's a song you might like. Listen to like the first 10 seconds. Nah, next one. Yeah. So that song's got like 10 seconds to sell you. Like this show. Take this show, for example. Podcasting. Maybe podcasting is different. I don't know. Maybe because... I don't know. I would love to know what goes through the minds of people that have discovered the show and stayed listening. Yeah. Whether they listened to a bit and then went, nah, but then for some reason it came up again, or is it something about podcasting that it's a longer form that you just kind of give it a bit more of a shot, or maybe your friend told you it was good? But with music, it's so short, relatively, and with something like Spotify, it says you might like this, but you might also like this another like 100 that you could have access to within like 2 seconds. Yeah, that you give everything like absolutely like zero chance. So it has to either so me, for example, Spotify will say, oh, you might like this, so I go play, and often what I'll do is I'll like skip to like a third of the way in, when some part of my brain is thinking this is the point at which it's getting good, like the hook, or you know, you skip past the warm up or whatever, or the intro or whatever, and if it sounds, and then I might give it like 10 seconds, and it can't be just me that does that. And so no wonder I can't find any new music, because I'm not giving
You're not giving it a chance.
That one artist, they could have been going for like 20 years producing music, and I'm looking at it going, nah, next, nah, next, nah, next.
I've had loads of albums where I've listened to it. I've listened to the whole album once or twice and I think, I don't know if this is really for me. Maybe from an artist I already liked, I think this album's not great.
That's amazing, all the way through, because that's going to be like a good couple of hours worth of listening, isn't it?
Yeah, but you listen to it and you think sometimes, I'm not sure about this, but I re-listen to it and think, I'll give it a chance, because I know that quite often some songs are growers, some albums are growers. Yeah. And actually some of my favourite albums now, I didn't really like when I first listened to them. Yeah. I don't think people will get that as much now. No. Like you said, it's just instant gratification. I'm not sure about this. Try another one.
So what can you do because I do think that you, like you say, if music is a grower, that I think that generally would suggest that it's got a certain quality that is... You have to engage with it on a level to really understand. Yeah,
and sometimes you have to be in a certain mood for certain music.
Yeah, or maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just you weren't in the right mood. But maybe there's more than that. Maybe it's just that actually that superficial listen was insufficient to actually for it to resonate with you on that same level that all the music you've listened to like a million times throughout your life.
Yeah.
And because I think a lot of that, like a lot of the albums I listen to,
One
although
Direction,
I don't deliberately,
Spice Girls,
yeah,
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Blue,
Blue. Wow.
although I don't consciously relate it to like any experience in my life. I think on some level it does evoke certain feelings about who you were maybe or what you were doing when you first heard that, especially if it's from your like childhood or younger years.
Massively.
Even if you don't actually think of that in the moment, it's got that kind of base level resonance.
Yeah.
And and how do you, as a new artist, how do you
break
ring
through that?
true with people in that way?
But that's also, I was on my playlist yesterday. I was coming home from work, and this is another great thing about going through a set of songs. So I'm quite strict with the songs I have on there. I mean, I've a ridiculous amount, like 30 gig of music on there, but I'm quite strict as if I know I don't really like it, I don't have it on there. So it's like just songs I really want to listen to again. But there is some really old stuff on there from when I was a kid. And there's one song that come up because it was just a to Z of this playlist. And there were songs coming out that I just thought, if I just had Spotify, I would never have listened to that song again in my life. It wouldn't have been recommended to me based on the more common stuff I listen to. And it's old. It's like, 30 years old, 20, 30 years old. So I wouldn't listen to it. There was one I was like, oh, this is the song that reminds me of my first ever childhood sweetheart. And then I cried for a little bit and felt really old. But I would never have heard that song again, I don't think, because it's not a popular song. It was a really random song.
Yeah.
That's why I quite like having it's my music. And also, there's a zombie apocalypse. Who's laughing, walking around with his iPod with his music on, didn't need to have an online service. So that's me, baby.
Well, there's no power. So his power's down, so it's not charged.
That's right. Well, I've listened to it for a few hours. I'll be dancing for a few hours. I'll get eaten by zombies soon enough anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Horses for courses, as they say.
Indeed, yeah.
But it's tempting to say sort of having everything at your fingertips is great because it's driven by all this technology that knows us so well.
Yeah.
Eventually, this becomes smarter. I know you might say it doesn't yet.
Yeah.
But we're still at the inception of this, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Over time, it's going to be these things are going to know what you like better than you know in that moment what you like because it's taking you as like an aggregation of how you have behaved over like years, and just because you're not feeling like maybe you're feeling down now, it knows you're feeling down, so it starts playing something that perked you up before last time you were feeling down because you're plugged into biometrics and all this kind of thing. I
was at an award ceremony the other day, a few months ago. One. So, and there was a company there, and they had this tech they were showing off, which was it showed you a video of loads of people in a street, crowded street, like a typical London busy street, hundreds of people walking down it, and it was coming up with little notes across above each person's head, and just from their facial, just from seeing their face, it was telling you their gender, their sort of rough age band, their mood, all this sort of stuff. I mean, that stuff won't ever really come into what's the word I'm thinking of? Mainstream.
That's what I said about the personal computer.
It will never get there. The internet? No, that'll never catch on.
Yeah, well, We'll see about that. Anyway, so back to the Alexa discussion. So Amazon released a advert for the Super Bowl.
Let's reheat pasta.
Reheating pasta.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, I didn't know you guys put Alexa in a microwave.
Yeah, we're putting her in a lot of stuff now. But trust me, there are a lot of fails.
Like what?
Like...
Alexa, play my podcast.
When you
It's on a toothbrush, by the way.
heard that, did that surprise you? That seems exciting.
We need an Alexa dog collar. 4 dogs.
Ordering dog food. Ordering dog food.
You can bark all you want. I'm not paying for any more dog food.
Ordering gravy. Ordering sausages.
Hey, you better cancel that order.
Alexa hot tub. A sucked.
Alexa, play music. Okay.
So there's massive fountain all in tune with the music playing around the side of the hot tub. Everyone's chucked out the side. So you get the idea. So they're going, it's crazy because stuff could go wrong, and everyone's laughing. And then at the end of the ad, of course, it's saying, but not everything makes the cut. Amazon, blah blah blah. Basically, the message is, Alexa's awesome, but yeah, it's dangerous as well. But don't worry, you can trust us because we're coming to you, showing you, oh, things could go wrong.
What?
And we're all watching it going, and presumably, you know, all of us, the great unwashed, are watching this going, yeah, you're right, that would be funny, but no, it's okay because Amazon know what they're doing. So let's carry on putting these things in our houses. And the thing that
it's a double bluff.
I think is quite funny. I don't think the people who are making things like Alexa and Google Home or whatever, the people who are working for that company, even in the like upper levels, I don't think those people are necessarily thinking we could be starting something off that's quite dangerous here.
Yeah.
But someone is at some level thinking they know precisely what's going on here. And we joke about it in the workplace saying, you know, I've lost count of the number of people who've said to me how they've had adverts come up with things that they don't remember having asked. They certainly haven't asked Alexa for it. They don't remember having written it into their phone. Maybe they talked to their wife or their husband about it once, and it's like and it's like, oh, here you go. Yeah. This is the exact thing that you wanted. Yeah. And everyone's like, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But then we're still doing it. It's like, oh yeah, it's really scary, isn't it? So have you got an Alexa? Yeah, I got 2. It's like, hang on, what?
Yeah, somebody at work the other day, we were talking about a holiday destination, and he has this thing, exactly, he keeps saying, my phone keeps sending me stuff that I've never looked for, but it's like after I've just spoken about it. Yeah. And we were talking, I can't remember where it was, somewhere in the world, on Earth, and it came up 10 minutes later, an advert for a holiday to that place. Yeah. And he was just like, that cannot be... The phones are listening all the time, especially Alexa. They have to. That's how they work. They're constantly listening. So they're not. Everything you say is going into a database somewhere, probably, or you know. I'm sure they say no, we're not storing any of that. But are they?
Well, they're continually recording so that they know whether or not you're saying Alexa or whatever. Yeah. But I thought it was just like a buffer of like 6 seconds or something like that. But yeah, clearly it is getting stored somewhere, and clearly we've all opted into it. Yeah, by checking a term and conditions that nobody reads. But what I find really funny about it is that how we're all telling each other how creepy it is, and yet we're all
still doing it.
Still kind of, we're not even just passively participating in it. We're actually actively going, oh, that looks cool. I might buy one of those, and just bringing it into our houses. So I wonder are we kind of thinking, are we at a point where such is the convenience value of having all of this stuff just doing our thinking for us? And I'm not saying that in like a tinfoil hat kind of way, whereby the machines are taking over. I just mean like the fact that the sheer power of like how interconnected everything is just there. The convenience of that, it's so strong of a draw that actually we just release all of our we've just let go of any of our concerns or any of our sense of privacy or
too easy,
or our guard is just completely down because of how easy it is. So that if that trend continues, then it's only going to end in one. It's only going to go one way, and we're ultimately just going to become implanted with
mindless drones.
We're just going to become implanted, and we're just going to ultimately just sacrifice. We'll sacrifice absolutely everything, for immediate gratification,
ease of
at
life.
Every level. Yeah, and I just find that I feel like we're in a period where this. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like this. I'm becoming aware of this more and more now, and maybe it is a tipping point. And I just thought the thing that really struck me about this advert is that Amazon they're making a joke out of it.
Yeah, feels like a double bluff, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's definitely a double bluff. Yeah. Oh, ha, 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 and actually underneath they're going, ha, ha, ha.
It's like, yeah. It's like, well, this, bad stuff could happen, right, guys? Yep.
Hold on.
But, no, seriously.
I just got an email. McDonald's latest dead raccoon burger. They've definitely listening.
There you go. Yeah,
that's pretty niche.
I did get I got a letter through the post from McDonald's recently.
A letter from McDonald's?
Well, no, like a promotional.
Oh,
thing.
Okay, right. Yeah.
What? Yeah, as I say, but it's absolutely stacked with celebrities. This advert, by the way. Yeah. So the end of it says this: Because not everything makes the cut. Sorry, guys, that's scary.
That scared the life out of me.
And then it's the Amazon. And it's just the Amazon. You know the smiley face.
Yeah.
And it's actually genius. Like if you've ever listened,
Smirk, I think.
if you ever looked at the Amazon logo, it's very, very clever.
Yeah.
And I didn't always notice this, but if you're listening and you don't know, never noticed this, have a look at the Amazon logo, right? Not only is the arrow pointing from the A to the Z in Amazon, which suggests like everything, and everything is on Amazon, but it's also a smile. And at the end of this advert, it's just a smiley bit, which again just reinforces that this whole thing's tongue in cheek, but like you were saying, but just remember, we basically own you now.
Yeah, I do.
And
I was just looking at your Amazon recommends. I was just interested to see what you've been recommended.
well, let's
I
see.
quite liked the
Recently-
Highway Rat. It was interesting.
Yeah, good animation that. Okay, so I wanted to. One thing we haven't done for a long time, Gav, is give the fans a little bit of recognition. Particularly when they've taken the time to get in touch with us. So
much appreciated.
A couple of emails here. First one from JD Sutter. Hello, Ben and Gavin.
Hello.
I just wanted to send a quick note to say I'm glad the show is back. I've been a listener for many years, since around early 2011.
Legend.
I miss hearing Joe and hope he will make an appearance soon. Would this be Joe 3.0 or 4.0 now? But I'm happy that the Peaches returned. Have a great day. Thanks, JD. Yeah, I don't know. I am in touch with Joe, I should say. Listeners maybe like to know. I am in touch with him, but I honestly could not tell you whether or not, or when, or if he'll be back on the show. Gav's hoping not, for obvious reasons.
I like Joe's good. I like Joe.
Why are you shaking your head? Why do you say that?
Why are you looking at the single solitary tear going down my face?
Cheers, JD. And the second one is from James. This one is came through a few weeks ago, but we haven't really caught up on email. So he says, just started listening to Christmas podcast this morning. Thought Joe sounded different. But Gavin is a great stand-in and looking forward to regular podcasts, less dad chat.
Ooh, we are, yeah.
And the sweet release of death, obviously.
Nice, James. We like it.
So, yeah, cheers for that, guys. If you
very
want
much.
to email the show, you can do so podcast@theabsolutepeach.com. And you might get your email read out on the show.
Ah, yeah.
Which is nice. I was going to bring up something, right, but I've been keeping this under wraps.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know if I can announce it. It might be quite early on.
Right. Early on in the show or our relationship?
Early on in the... this is kind of... It's very early days. It's very early days.
I'm nervous. Oh, I need to hear it now.
Basically...
yes.
Can I talk about this? Hold on, I just need to send a quick text to see if...
I'm so nervous. Don't do this. He's literally just fiddling with his phone. You're having to go at me for fiddling my phone.
Yeah, I'm being told I can release some details.
Right.
So basically, I have had the opportunity to be involved in a new comedic podcast program.
Say what?
I don't know how much more I can say, really. It is based in the United States.
A bit of a commute.
And Australia.
Even more of a commute.
And France.
That's easy.
It alternates every episode.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the gist. It's a comedy show. And
it's a comedy.
It's basically it's got real celebrities in it from France, Luxembourg, and South Africa.
Yeah. Okay. And you.
But it's not recorded in Luxembourg or South Africa. It's recorded in America and the UK and the United States of America.
Hold on. America, the UK, and the United States.
United Kingdom, America, Ireland, and Brazil, and it's starring real celebrities. But they are all voiced by me.
Right.
They're real celebrity. They're real celebrity voices, but they're all voiced by me, and they're all in the French accent. And I can't give away too many details, but basically, it's called Celebrity Crumbs.
Right.
And it's a sketch show.
Okay.
And every week, we release it 4 times a month. And 4 times a month. 8 times a day.
What?
And that's the French edition. And then we translate it via satellite.
Satellite stuff.
Satellite.
Dish. Rays.
Lasers.
It's
Donald Trump is our main character. And he... and I play him / Michael Jackson. And Jim David. Do you remember Jim Davidson?
Jim Davidson.
Yeah. So he's our main
weird lineup.
I play Jim Davidson doing an impression of Donald Trump.
Right.
Dressed as Michael Jackson, but it's not a video show, but we all dress up like Michael Jackson. Basically dress up like Michael Trump. And we do sketches. And sketches.
Yeah.
They all have like a crazy thing that happens at the end. Like everyone's like, "Oh, that was it's a funny thing," and then that's the show.
I feel like this is all a weird dream.
But I can't give any more away.
No,
please don't ask me to give any more away. But I can tell you that it is coming out on iTunes.
Right.
But it's only coming out on iTunes today.
Right. So by the time the show goes out...
It's not recording until September. And basically... So I've mentioned Donald Trump's in it.
Right. Hold on. Jim Davidson. Is he the darts one or the snooker one?
Jim Davidson. Big break.
Big break. Snooker
in you. Snooker in you tonight.
Big break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him? No. What are you talking about? No. Donald Trump... So it's real voices. Celebrity Crumbs is the name of the show.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of every show, we start it off, we play the music. Do you like the shows? Celebrity Crumbs. And then each week. Why are you laughing?
I find this so bizarre. I'm so confused.
Donald Trump. Everyone has.
I feel like I'm going to wake up in a minute in like a cold sweat in the middle of my house.
Everybody has a different catchphrase. Like Donald Trump's catchphrase is went a bit far away from the mic there. Donald Trump's catchphrase is basically whatever. He always gets himself into crazy like messes. He's like
mental. Yeah.
In one of the episodes, somebody makes him into the president of the United States, and he's like, "Oh, Trumpy, what have you done?" And then that's it, and it cuts to the next one, and then you could be anyone on the next one. To be honest, I don't even. I'm not allowed on it.
Where is this going?
So, if you want to tune into that, you go to www.celebrity-crumbs.podcast/listen / Trump Michael Jackson Crumbs.org
Jim Davidson
/gov
/gov. Jim Davidson, the one from Big Break, not the one from Bullseye,
yeah.
which is Jim Bowen.
Jim Bowen.
Yeah.
Don't bring Jim Bowen. He's not allowed on it. He's banned.
Yeah. He's a racist.
That's it. Tune in next time for more on Celebrity Crumbs. The Absolute Peach. Thanks, Gav.
Thank you very much. That was good. I enjoyed that.
I'm
still confused, but I enjoyed it.
Didn't.
Rude.
Thanks to everyone who's been supporting the show by becoming Patreons. What does it mean to be a Patreon?
You become a legend, for one thing. By
It
JD
means-
and James. Legends.
I'm sorry, Gav, I'm speaking.
All right.
If you go to Patreon, patreon.com/theabsolutepeach, for $5 a month, you can support the show, help keep us going, and get access to 360 episodes of The Absolute Peach.
Madness.
And if you enjoy the show, please do get in touch, podcast@theabsolutepeach.com, and leave us a 5-star iTunes review. And Gavin will do a naked dance.
Oh, God.
Pop, that's scary. Pop. This is a friend.